following papers on the table of the Senate today, Thursday, the 6th of October, 2022. It's quite lengthy. The National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, regulations, legal notice number 120 of 2022. Central Bank of Kenya, Bank Supervision Annual Report for 2020. MSME's Credit Guarantee Scheme Performance Report by the National Treasury and Planning for financial year ended 30th June 2022. Public Service Commission Annual Report for financial year 2021-2022. East African Community Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2022. East African Community Supplementary Appropriation Bill number 2 of 2022. East African Community Appropriation Bill of 2022. The East African Community Competition Amendment Bill 2022. The East African Community Persons with Disabilities Bill 2022. Resolution of the East African Legislative Assembly paying tribute to the late Right Honorable Jacob Ulanyas, former Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. Resolution of the East African Legislative Assembly paying tribute to His Excellency President Mwai Kibaki, the third President of the Republic of Kenya. Resolution of the East African Legislative Assembly urging the EAC Council of Ministers to recommend partner states to enhance gender equality in access of food and nutrition security in East African Community. Resolution of the East African Community Legislative Assembly urging the Council of Ministers to recommend the EAC partner states the eradication of child sexual abuse in the EAC region. Resolution of East African Legislative Assembly granting the members of the Assembly permission to access official documents of the House to be used in evidence before the East African Court of Justice on a matter regarding arrears owed to them. Report of the East African Legislative Assembly on communication, trade and investment on the spot assessment of the status implementation of East African Community One-Stop Border Post and the hydroelectric infrastructures at Elegu, Nemule, Kobero, Kabanga and Rusomo. Report of the East African Legislative Assembly on the accounts on the benchmarking mission of on the mandate of the National Assembly and implementation of recommendations of Parliament on annual audit reports. Reports of the East African Legislative Assembly Committee on agriculture, tourism, natural resources, on the oversight activity to assess the performance of the tourism sector in EAC. Report of the East African Legislative Assembly Committee on legal rules and privileges on the assessment of the status of ratification and implementation of EAC protocols and EAC laws by partner states. The East African Community projected financial statements for EAC budget for the financial year 2022-2023. Report of the East African Legislative Assembly Committee on Regional Affairs and Conflict Resolution on implementation of the Nairobi Protocol for Prevention, Control and Reduction of Small Arms and Light Weapons in the Greater Lake regions and the Horn of Africa. The annual report of the Controller of Budget for financial year 2020-2021. The report of the Controller of Budget on the National Government Budget Implementation Review for financial year 2021-2022. That's the first half. Report of the Controller of Budget on the Annual National Government Budget Implementation Review for financial year 2021-2022. Report of the Controller of Budget on the County Government's Budget Implementation Review for financial year 2021-2022, the first 9 months. Report of the Controller of Budget on the County Government's Budget Implementation Review for financial year 2021 and 2022, the first quarter. Report of the Controller of Budget on Annual County Government's Budget Implementation Review for financial year 2021-2022. Biannual report of the Commission on Administrative Justice for the period between July to December 2021. The annual report of the Commission on Administrative Justice for the financial year 2020 to 2021. The 7th Annual Task Summit Report by Kenya Revenue Authority. The annual report of the Kenya Law Reforms Commission for financial year 2021-2022. The Kenya Water Tower Status Reports on Shimba Hills for the period of 2018 to 2019. That's the fourth quarter. The Kenya Water Tower Status for Elgeyo Hills for the period 2018 to 2019, fourth quarter. Kenya Water Tower Status Report for Makuli Nzaui for the period of 2018 to 2019, fourth quarter. Kenya Water Towers status report for Chulu Hills for the period 2016 to 2017, the third quarter. Kenya Water Towers status report for Nyambene Hills for the period 2019 to 2020, the first quarter. Kenya Water Tower status report for Gwasi Hills for the period 2018 to 2019, fourth quarter. Kenya Water Tower status reports for East Mau, revised version, for the period 2016 to 2017. Kenya Water Tower status for the report for the Namanga Hills for the period 2018 to 2019, first quarter. Kenya Water Tower status for the report for Mount Elgon for the period of 2017-2018, the fourth quarter. The Kenya Water Tower status report for Cherangany Hills for the period of 2017 to 2018, the third quarter. The Kenya Water Tower status report for Southwest Mau for the 2018 to 2019, second quarter. The Kenya Water Tower status report for Kirisia Hills for the period of 2017 to 2018. Kenya Water Tower status report for Kirisia Hills for the period 2017 to 2018, first quarter. Kenya Water Tower status report for Endau Hill for the period of 2018 to 2019, second quarter. Kenya Water Tower status report for Nthangu Kitondo for the period 2018-2019, second quarter. That's it. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next order, please.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1, I hereby present to the Senate the business of the Senate for the week commencing Tuesday, the 11th of October, 2022. Before I proceed with the statement, allow me to take this opportunity to congratulate all the senators on their election and convey my best wishes for your success in the discharge of your constitutional mandate. I also take this opportunity to congratulate colleagues who have been appointed to Senate leadership offices and convey my best wishes as you take up your duties and responsibilities of a said office. I express optimism that will continue to work in a cordial and consultative manner to ensure that the mandate of the Senate is respected and that its legislative agenda is achieved. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Tuesday, the 11th of October 2022, the Senate Business Committee will meet to schedule the business of the Senate, which is projected to contain business that will not be concluded from today's order paper and any other business scheduled by the committee. The order paper for Wednesday, 12th October 2022 will contain business that will not be concluded on Tuesday, 11th October, and on Thursday, 13th October, the order paper will contain business that will not be concluded on Wednesday, the 12th, as well as motions, petitions, statements, and any other business as directed by the Senate Business Committee. Pursuant to Standing Order number 27-6, debate on the business appearing on order number 8 in today's order paper will continue on Tuesday, 11th October, being the third and the final day. At the conclusion of debate and after the question has been put, the resolution of the Senate, together with the votes and answer of the proceedings, will be transmitted to the Presidency, as is a standard practice, for the Executive to consider proposals by Senators in formulation of government policy and legislative proposals. 6. In this respect, I urge honorable Senators to observe decorum, to remain relevant, and to be objective and constructive in their contributions, so as to avoid frivolous and unnecessary points of orders that deny other senators the opportunity to debate and give their perspectives. Mr. Speaker, sir, concerning the question of the select committees of the House, the Senate's leadership is seized of the matter and will shortly submit to the Senate Business Committee the names of senators nominated to serve in various committees. We therefore urge for patience, as we would like to get the membership of these committees right from the start, owing to their significance in discharging the mandate of the Senate. 8. The Senate Business Committee has already recommended to the House a calendar for the remainder of the session, and this debate will come up at order number 9. I will reserve further comments on this matter until the time of moving that particular motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are a number of critical bills that lapsed during the term of the 12th Parliament. I assure the House that the Senate leadership will consider this bill so as to have them republished for introduction to the Senate. Returning senators who had sponsored bills that were not successful through the legislative process of the 12th Parliament are encouraged to have them republished at the earliest opportunity, while senators who wish to take up bills that lapsed are equally encouraged to liaise with the office of the clerk to have them republished.